Today, we're breaking down exactly what it takes to not just survive, but actually thrive in the single most extreme environment on Earth. We're heading to the absolute bottom of the world to explore the science, the gear, and the intense psychological endurance it takes to stay alive on the ice. Believe me, this is a place that pushes human limits further than anywhere else on the planet. I want you to imagine winter temperatures plunging to a staggering -60 degrees Celsius. At that level, the cold isn't just uncomfortable anymore, it's an active predator. It instantly threatens your physical safety. We're talking about an environment where if you toss a cup of boiling water into the air, it turns into ice crystals before it even hits the ground. It's a place where any exposed skin freezes solid in a matter of mere minutes, demanding absolute vigilance the second you step outside. Now take that bone-chilling cold and combine it with screaming winds exceeding 100 miles per hour. This isn't just a heavy breeze, folks. It's a sheer physical force that can literally knock you right off your feet, creating a landscape that is relentlessly hostile. And because of the wind chill factor, it rips away your body heat exponentially faster than you can possibly generate it. It turns a dangerous temperature into a truly lethal one in a heartbeat. So I've got to ask you, how would you handle months of darkness, freezing temperatures, and total, inescapable isolation? What does it truly take to survive on the ice when you're completely cut off from the rest of the world and rescue is simply not an option? Well, let's dive right into this survival guide. We'll be looking at Earth's most extreme environment, the mechanics of physical survival, like layering up, how to win the mental game, the crucial logistics and daily safety, and finally, the ultimate survival skill you need out there. All right, let's start with Section 1, Earth's most extreme environment, the coldest, windiest, and driest place. You know, survival here isn't just about throwing on a thick winter coat. It's a relentless, multi-front battle against the rawest forces of nature, deep isolation, and honestly, your own mind. Every single time you step outside, you aren't just fighting the weather. You're fighting the absolute limits of human endurance. You are stepping out onto a frozen desert that actively rejects human life. Which brings us to Section 2, physical survival, layering up, and the golden rule of clothing. The absolutely crucial rule of survival out here is to layer, layer, layer. You can't just wear one massive bulky coat and call it a day. It doesn't work like that. Step 1 is your base layer. You need to pull sweat away from your skin immediately, usually with moisture-wicking merino wool or advanced synthetics. Step 2 is your mid layer. This is designed specifically to trap heat using fleece or synthetic insulation. And here's a huge pro tip. Synthetic insulation actually stays warm even if it gets a little sweaty, whereas traditional down feathers, they completely lose their heat-trapping magic once they get damped. Finally, step 3 is blocking out that biting wind with your outer shell. This needs to be a fully waterproof and windproof material like Gore-Tex, complete with a specialized hood to shield your face. But it's not just your core. You absolutely must protect your extremities. Heavy-duty mittens, a snug beanie, and thick wool socks are non-negotiable. Touchscreen-compatible mittens are a total game-changer, so you never have to expose your bare fingers to the freezing air just to use a piece of equipment. And here's something you might not expect. You have to protect yourself from the sun. The UV reflection off the endless white ice is dangerously intense, so polarized sunglasses or heavy-duty ski goggles are absolutely essential. Without them, you're risking snow blindness in just a matter of minutes. Okay, let's move on to Section 3, winning the mental game, psychological survival in the dark. Surviving those screaming winds outside is one thing, but that's a completely different challenge from surviving the intense isolation inside. Just imagine being trapped indoors during continuous, unrelenting months of total darkness. You're interacting with the exact same small group of, say, 20 people every single day. The complete lack of sunlight combined with extreme spatial confinement can easily lead to severe cabin fever, interpersonal tension, and deep mental burnout. It's an exhausting test of psychological endurance that honestly catches a lot of first-timers completely off guard. So, how do they handle it? Well, to combat that deep burnout, researchers actively create a sense of artificial normalcy. To fight the endless day or night, they have to maintain a strict, unwavering routine, keeping regular work, meal, and sleep schedules, just to trick their circadian rhythms. They bring personal bedding, colorful clothes, and warm LED lights to fight off the sterile, institutional vibe of a research base. They also stay curious, participating in things like darts tournaments or group cooking to stay tethered to normal life. And crucially, they make sure to step outside to embrace the awe. They appreciate breathtaking wonders like the brilliant aurora australis or nearby penguin colonies, reminding themselves exactly why they signed up for this in the first place. Next up is Section 4, Crucial Logistics and Daily Safety, Food, Water, and Health. When you step out into the frozen field, food literally becomes your internal furnace. To keep your body fueled against that intense, biting cold, you have to consume high-calorie, lightweight daily rations that often top 3,500 calories. To put that into perspective, that's roughly the equivalent of eating half a dozen large fast food cheeseburgers every single day. And your body burns through every last crumb of it just to maintain your core temperature and keep your organs functioning. Now, speaking of processing all that food, since you're operating in a highly protected, pristine environment, you must leave absolutely no trace in the field. Enter the WAG bags, or Waste Alleviation and Gelling bags. This means you pack everything out. And yes, I mean absolutely everything. All human waste goes into a specialized bag and comes out with you. It's a slightly unglamorous reality of extreme conservation, but hey, it's totally necessary. Hydration is another massive logistical hurdle. It's kind of a strange paradox. You are entirely surrounded by frozen water, but you have absolutely zero running water. You actually have to manually chop and melt snow just to hit the heavily recommended 4 to 5 quarts of drinking water every day. Plus, because the South Pole is actually sitting on a massive ice sheet at a really high elevation, altitude sickness is a very real risk. The U.S. Antarctic program even recommends using specific medications like acetazolamide to help your body safely acclimate to the thin air. Out here, you simply cannot take risks. The weather can flip from clear skies to a deadly whiteout in a matter of minutes. Following strict safety protocols is your actual lifeline. Take the 15-meter rule, for example. You have to maintain a strictly enforced distance from unpredictable wildlife, especially massive predators like leopard seals. You also need specialized training to spot crevasse dangers. Those are deadly, bottomless drops completely hidden under just a thin layer of snow. And finally, because the nearest hospital isn't just down the street, it's thousands of miles away across a frozen ocean, carrying a satellite phone is absolutely mandatory to call for emergency rescue. Finally, let's bring it all together in Section 5, the real survival skill, beyond the gear. Because beyond all the high-tech, expensive gear and the meticulous daily logistics, returning expeditioners all point to one profound trait: resilience. True survival is about your ability to mentally and physically adapt when the wind is screaming outside, the sun has disappeared for the season, and you haven't seen a single piece of fresh fruit in over a month. Ultimately, surviving the ice just comes down to pure grit. Going to the bottom of the earth is an incredible adventure that strips you down to your core and forces you to adapt. Those who make the journey say that if you prepare for the absolute worst, you're rewarded with the adventure of a lifetime. It is a harsh, unforgiving environment that leaves you completely transformed, granting you a totally new perspective on what you are truly capable of enduring. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to think deeply about your own resilience. What is the most extreme environment you've ever visited? Do you think you could handle the unrelenting isolation and the brutal cold of Antarctica? Take a moment to reflect on your own adaptability and keep pushing your personal boundaries.